it's Leslie T, and it is June. It's like halfway through June. So I thought this would be a good time for me to share my mid-year book review with you. If you remember in January, I said one of my 2019 goals was to read more. So I am going to tell you about the books I've read and, make some suggestions or give you how, I don't even know what I'm saying, tell you how I feel about it. All right, I have been keeping a note in my phone. Here it is, 2019 books. All right, so in January, I read My Diary by Miranda Sings. So I actually read that. It was entertaining for sure. A couple things about it that I liked was there were little QR codes in it, so I could just like scan with my phone and it linked me to like little videos or whatever. So that was cool. The teacher and me had a rough time with it because Miranda Sings does not have good spelling, grammar, punctuation, or anything like that. So it was entertaining, and I'm glad I read it. But I'd really love to see like Colleen Ballinger do like a biography or something. That would be even better for me. The next book I read in January still was Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, and I actually listened to that one with my Audible account. Most of my books that I've read were from Audible. I usually listen to reading while I am doing my makeup in the morning, and so I can put it on and work on my makeup, and I think that's a good use of time. Imagine where you have little 10-20 minute spots in your day to like enrich yourself. So I'm a fan of Audible. I mean, they're not sponsoring me, but it'd be cool if they did because it's good stuff. I'm very happy about it. I also love it. I liked reading Bossy Pants by Tina Fey because she's the one who read the book. Like she was what is that called? The voice, the narration? Sure. Yeah, so it was narrated by the author. So I guess narration was the word I wanted. And that was cool. I like hearing things, from the person. That was good. It was in January when I listened to it, but I enjoyed it. I like hearing about, how Tina Fey got to her job where she was and how she's doing and, struggles and everything like that. The next book I read in January still, I had a boom in January. It slows up after January, but it's cool. Was Kind is the New Class C by Candace Cameron Bure. And I really love me some Full House. I liked Candace Cameron a lot. So I've been big on kindness for the past couple of years. It's really important to me. So I thought that would be a good one to read. It was good. It was a little more religious than I expected it to be, which didn't bother me at all. But yeah, it really didn't bother me, but it was good. I like the concepts of, being classy means being kind, so it wouldn't hurt you. Yeah, cool stuff there. Also narrated by the author, so I got to hear Candace Cameron Bure explain her experiences and everything from her. So January, 3 books, yeah! And then February happened, and I got... So February, there is nothing, but that's okay. March, I connected with my book club that I used to go to, and I had stopped going because I was trying to finish up at college and get my degree and everything. So a lot of my spare time, there wasn't spare time. So I hadn't seen my book club friends in years, but my mom told me that, oh, we're reading Becoming by Michelle Obama, and the book club meeting's on this day. I'm like, well, I could read that. So I did listen to it, which was awesome. That is one book I really think you should listen to rather than read with your eyes. And I used to hate listening to books. I thought it was cheating. So the fact that I'm telling you this means it's true, okay? Michelle Obama narrated the book, and it was so good. Like, I didn't imagine enjoying it as much as I did. I thought it was going to be boring, and maybe parts of it was, but dang, it's good stuff, guys. Like, I highly recommend that one. It's good. And that's the only thing I read in March. It was kind of long. In April, I read Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. And let me give you a little backstory on that. Rachel Hollis is actually from my hometown. She's from Bakersfield. And I didn't know that. Turns out we're the exact same age. I didn't know that either. But I I saw Girl Wash Your Face come up several times, like, oh, I should really listen or read that one. And I didn't. And then I ended up listening to Girl Stop Apologizing, which is the second book. And wow, that one was good too. And that was narrated by the author too. That was Rachel Hollis was doing the reading for it. And a lot of it resonated with me. And it's kind of nice, you know, it was a good book. And I'm very glad I read it. Which then led me to fiction book. Nope. Usually when I read fiction books, it is usually kids novels. I love me a good children's novel. So my book reviews will have a mix of like empowering life choice books, and then I read this novel. So I am a teacher, and I got volunchosen to help facilitate our state testing in a third grade class, because in second grade we don't do state testing, and I used to teach fifth grade, so it made sense. I knew what to do. So I'm really glad I did that too, even though it's kind of dreadful to facilitate testing, especially for a class that's not yours. That was a little tough. But I looked on a bookshelf and saw a class set of this book. It's called There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom, and it's by Louis Sachar. I've never known how to say the author's name, but it's the same author as Holes, and I love reading Holes. So I'm like, interesting. So I picked it up and read like the first couple chapters during this testing time. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna borrow this. So I took it with me, and it took me a couple days, but that was a nice little novel too. And I can tell that the book was a little dated, but one of my takeaways from that, it's like, I'm sure a child reading this book had a different perspective than I did. But man, being a teacher and listening to how teachers were treating the kids in this book, all my teacher like alarms were like, no, you don't talk to a child like that. You don't talk to a parent. Oh my gosh, the way the teachers were talking to the parents. Oh, here, first of all, I wouldn't talk to a parent like that. And second of all, we wouldn't get away with talking to a parent like that, but that's whatever. So that was good. And I actually read that with my eyeballs, so I'm proud of me for that. Even though it was out of order, the next book I read was Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, and I really liked it. Some people, I would suggest that you read them in order, like Girl Wash Your Face and then Girl Stop Apologizing, but I think I read it in the right order, the way it was intended for me to read it, because it just did. I read them at the right time, and that was nice. So that is my mid-year book review. I am working on reading more of a professional development book for me right now. And I'm still working on that, and I'll read other books too. For my teacher friends that are interested in knowing about Goodreads for my classroom, that's going to be a different video, because I read a lot of books in my classroom this year, because I'm a first year, second grade teacher, that a lot of them are new this year. So I don't want to make this a super duper long video. And yeah, so that would be cool. But definitely click on my school classroom reads, my second grade teacher life, if that interests you. You don't have to. So that's it for now. Keep reading. Everyone should be reading, even if it's listening to reading. Make that happen. I'm proud of myself, because January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months, and I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. So that's more than one book a month, which is pretty good. How many of you guys have read a book a month? It's okay, don't get embarrassed. Reading's one of my favorite things, and I've spent the last 5 years hardly reading anything for fun. So there is no judgment from me, but I suggest that if you have a hard time finding a couple minutes to read, check out Audible. It's $14.95 a month, and I think it's worth it. And definitely it's entertaining. It can be enriching. I mean, I had a combination of just learning stuff, things that I can apply to my life, and then just listening to cool stories. So I'm really happy. Again, Audible is not a sponsor here, but it'd be awesome if they were, because I do like it a lot, and I do suggest that you keep reading, or you start reading. I don't care how old you are. I tell my second graders this, and I'll tell my grandma this. Everyone should be reading at least a little bit. All right, that's it for now. I love reading.